And I'll just wait for this to start recording. Okay, so we have the equation of a line between 2 points, and these are the steps that we're going to follow. So what first we're going to do is we're going to write out all of the steps, and then I'm going to do one example using the steps, like one after one after one. And then we have 2 more examples that we're going to do together as a class. And then afterwards, I have some examples for you guys to do on your own, where you can show me your math and I can help you with that way. Okay. So the title of today's lesson is the equation of a line between 2 points, and that's what we're looking for. This is going to be very needed in our in your assessment tomorrow. So the very first step when you are looking to find the equation of a line between 2 points is to calculate the slope using the slope formula. So I'm going to calculate the slope using the formula. And I'm just going to add the formula here. We did write down the formula on our note from yesterday, so you might still remember it. But I'm going to write down our formula that m is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And that is our formula for slope. Our second step, so step number 2, is to use the slope, and you're going to replace the letter m in your template equation. So we're replacing m right here. In that equation, y equals mx plus b, because remember, lines are written y is equal to mx plus b. Step number 3 is to use a known point. Okay, so not necessarily the known point. I'm just going to replace that and write a. Use a known point. And we're going to replace x and y in our template equation once again. Okay, so now once we've calculated the slope, what we're going to do is we're going to take a known point that we have, and we're going to replace x and y in the same equation. Y is mx plus b. So we're going to replace this and this. We had already replaced m from above. So now you can see the only letter that you should have in this equation now is b. You're going to have this like weird plus b hanging around at the side there. That's what I have written down here. You should only have b missing now. So b is always going to be there. And b, well, b is our y-intercept, right? This is our y-intercept. Okay? We need to figure out what the y-intercept is in order to have a complete equation, right? We have our m. The y-intercept is the second piece. We need to figure out what that's going to be to have a complete equation. To do so, we are going to rearrange and use our opposite operations. To find the b. Okay, and we're going to see what that looks like. And finally, for step number 5, you're going to write your final equation using m that we had found from step number 1, and b that says from step 6, but from step 4. Okay, and once again, you're putting that in y equals mx plus b. Okay, so let me know when you're done writing, because I know this is a lot of words here. And then we'll move on and we'll do our first example together. In the meantime, if the following people have shown up, please let me know. Jacob, Caitlin, Samuela, and Trayvon. If you're here, if you have shown up now, please let me know. Hi, Samuela. Again, let me know once you're ready for me to move on and do the example. For those of you that are writing this down. Awesome. So let's take a look here. We're going to do our first example. So you see the way that I've written it is we have our example, and then I've broken it down into all of the different steps. So we are going to find the equation of the line that is going through points 3, 4, and 4, 6. Okay, so all we know about this line is that it is in between those 2 points, 3, 4, and 4, 6. Okay, our very first step is to calculate the slope. Okay, so we are looking to calculate the slope through the points 3, 4, and 4, 6. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite those points, and I'm going to label them as x1, y1, x2, and y2. So we're going to go, I'm going to write them here, 3, 4, and 4, 6. We know that 3 is x and 4 is y. And I know that the other 4, that's the x, and this is the y. And I also know, if I just zoom in here, x and y1 are both from the first coordinate, and these are from the second coordinate. So I write those little 1s and 2s in the bottom there. That's called the subscript. Okay, so from here, now I'm going to calculate the slope, and I'm going to use that formula. So remember the formula, m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now I'm going to, the first thing, and I didn't do this yesterday, but I'm going to do this today, is I'm going to match up what goes where, because there were a couple people that were struggling with putting things in the formula. So the very first number that I need is my y2. And so I'm looking for a y, and I'm looking for the y that is actually in my second coordinate. So 6 is going to be my y2. Then I'm looking for a y1. Okay, y, that's the other y. It's for my first coordinate. It's right here. Now I'm looking for an x2. X2 is the x from my second coordinate. That's why we write the 2. So that's going to be 4. And then last but not least, I'm looking for the x of my first coordinate, and that is the 3 that's right here. So hopefully that kind of shows you what matches up with what with the color coding there. I'm going to now put the numbers into the equation. Okay, so we know that y2 is 6, y1 is 4, x2 is 4, and x1 is 3. So I have the equation 6 minus 4 all divided by 4 minus 3. So 6 minus 4 is 2. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So I have 2 divided by 1, which is just 2. And so I have my slope is 2. Step number 2, we then need to substitute the slope for m in y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to take my y equals mx plus b, but we just found out that m is 2. So instead of writing m, I'm going to write 2. I'm going to do that in purple. Y is 2x plus b. Okay, there are too many letters here. Okay, there's too many unknowns. So what I need to do now is I'm going to go through a couple of steps to find my b value. Okay, so to do so, I'm going to pick a point, and then I'm going to plug in the x and y value into this formula. And I have 2 points that I can choose from. I have 3, 4, and I have 4, 6. Somebody pick one. Would you like to do 3, 4 or 4, 6? Perfect. We'll do 4, 6. Okay. So 4, 6 is going to be my point that I am choosing. 4 is x and 6 is y. So what I'm going to do is in this equation, y is 2x plus b, is I'm going to replace the y with my 6 and the x with my 4. So I'm just going to show you like slowly. Y is 2x plus b, but here I'm erasing my y and I'm going to replace it with 6, and I'm erasing my x, and I'm replacing it with 4. And I'm going to put my 4 in brackets because it is right up against the 2, and it's not 24. It's 2 times 4. Now we have a solvable equation because now we have an equation that only has one letter in it and a bunch of numbers, and we can rearrange those numbers in order to get, what our equation is going to be. So I need to solve for b now. I'm just going to rewrite the equation here. 6 is 2 times 4 plus b. First things first, I'm going to do my 2 times 4. So 6 is going to be, what's 2 times 4? 2 times 4 is 8. Good. 8 plus b. And then I need to get my b on its own. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So I'm going to do 6 minus 8 is going to be, and then this will be 8 plus b minus 8. Now this allows me to cancel out my 2 8s. And I have that 6 minus 8 is equal to b. What is 6 minus 8? It's -2. So -2 is equal to b. That is the value, that is the y-intercept that matches with the equation of a line through our 2 points. And now we have everything that we need to know, right? In an equation, you write an equation as y equals mx plus b. However, we know our m and we know our b. So our m that we got from up above was 2, and our b that we just found is -2. So I'm going to write y is equal to 2x minus 2. Y is 2x minus 2. And that is the equation of our line between those 2 points. Okay. Are we ready to go on to a second example now? Let me know when you're ready. Okay, awesome. So let's move on to the next problem. So example number 2 says determine the equation of the line going through the points -2, 5, and -1, or sorry, and +1, 4. So -2, 5, and +1, 4. So the very first thing that we have to do is we have to find the slope. So I'm going to write down here, I'm just going to put a little note that we need to first find the slope. And I'm going to let you do this on your own. And I want whenever you figure out what it is, let me just post it in the chat here, and then we'll take it up together because this is review from yesterday, so you should be good.
Here, that's the name. That's the back to the spot. Okay.
Again, so let me know. Find the slope yourself, and then we'll take it up together. Okay, Nishan thinks it's negative 1/3. David also thinks it's negative 1/3, but I can't tell if he just copied Nishan's answer. Because it's letter for letter. Let's take it up. We have -2, 5, and we have 1, 4. So -2, 5, and 1, 4. First things first is I'm going to label what is what. So I have my X and Y, and my X and my Y, and now I add the little numbers, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. The heck got the same thing, okay? So our slope, we use the slope equation. M is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Okay, our Y2, I'm just going to pair that. Y2 is 4. Y1 is 5. X2 is 1. And X1 is -2. So let's plug this into our slope equation. So Y2 is 4, and then minus 5 divided by 1 minus, and then I have -2. So I have to put that bracket there. 1 minus -2, so we don't have two negatives touching each other. Okay, 4 minus 5 is -1. 1 minus -2 is going to be +3. So our slope here is -1/3. Okay, now we need to find our B. So there, you really can break this into two big steps as we're going to find our B. So we take our equation, y is mx plus b. But I'm going to replace the m with what we just found, that m that we just found. So I'm going to erase the m here, and I'm going to put -1/3. Okay, and now we need to pick a point to replace our y and our x. So which point would you like me to use? We have -2, 5 or 1, 4. It doesn't matter which one we pick. -2, 5 or 1, 4. Perfect. Let's pick 1, 4. I would have picked 1, 4 too because there's no negative sign in it, right? So in 1, 4, well, let me draw a line here. In 1, 4, my y is 4, so I'm going to do 4 is -1/3. And then my x is 1 plus b. So 4 is equal to negative 1 over 3 times 1 plus b, which is just negative 1 over 3 plus b. And now I'm going to move my negative 1 over 3 to the other side, and that's going to become a positive number, right? If you switch sides, you're also going to switch signs. So you have 4 plus 1 over 3 is equal to b. And in order to add our fractions, we need to find a common denominator, okay? My 4 just has a denominator of 1. So I'm going to make this instead a denominator of 3. To do that, I need to multiply it by 3. So we have 12 over 3. Kitty Cat is joining us for class today. 12 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is going to be equal to b. Okay, and 12 over 3 plus 1 over 3, that is 13 over 3 equals to b. And so we have our two key pieces of information. We have our m that we needed, and we have the b that we need in order to find the equation. So we can write our final equation just to confirm. So we are going to write y equals, and then instead of m, I'm going to do negative 1 over 3. I keep my x. And now I'm going to write 13 over 3. So this right here is my final equation. So this is a bit trickier because there's fractions involved, but it's okay. You know, we can handle fractions. I know you can. Okay, let me know when you're ready to move on to the third example that we'll do as a class. And we will do that one together. Okay. So let's come down here to our example number 3. So example number 3 asks us to find the equation of the line going through the points 0, negative 4, and negative 3, negative 7. Okay, let's do it. Step number 1, we know, is to find the slope. That's always what we're going to be starting with, and that's exactly why I did what I did yesterday. So we're going to find the slope. We have our 2 points. I'm just going to write them out. So we have 0, negative 4, and we have negative 3, negative 7. I'm going to label my points now. So I have x1, y1, and x2, y2. I'm now going to use the slope formula to find the slope. So our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm just going to show who matches with who so that we can clearly see it. But if you are comfortable going ahead and calculating the slope, then go ahead and do that, okay? So calculate the slope, and then whenever you think you have it, post it in the chat.
gonna do the mind math.
Okay, Nisha thinks it's 11 over -3. Oh, wait, we have a few others.
Oh, anyway, I'll look through. But if you get this one done for me, I will.
Okay, Mehak thinks -3 over -3. Mehak, you could reduce that.
Deal? All right, thanks, buddy. You can leave this. Hey, listen. Austin, if you send me a message when you're done, so I know that you're done.
Hold on for a second. Okay, let's take it up together. So we're going to do y2 is -7 and y1 is -4. So this is going to be minus -4 divided by. x2 is -3 and minus x1. So we're going to do minus, and then my x1 is 0. So we have -7 minus -4 divided by -3 minus 0. Well, -7 minus -4 is like -7 plus 4. -7 plus 4, I'll write it out, -7 plus 4 over -3 minus 0. Well, -7 plus 4 is -3. Again, all divided by -3. So Mehak was right. -3 divided by -3 is 1. It's +1. The two negatives cancel each other out. So we have +1 for our slope. So our slope, our m, is equal to 1. Okie doke. Step number 2 is we have to now find our b value. We need to find our b. So we're going to take our y equals mx plus b. I replace the m with the one that I just found. So I'm going to put that as 1. And I also need to replace a y and an x using one of the points from my question. Would you like to use 0, -4 or -3, -7? So 0, -4 or -3, -7. I'm going to suggest we use the first one because it has a 0, and zeros are easy to work with. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of negative numbers coming in. So I'm going to suggest we use 0, -4. So I'm going to plop that baby into my equation here, and instead of x, I have 0. And instead of y, I have -4. One times 0 is just 0. So -4 is equal to 0 plus b. And 0 plus b is just b. We're not adding anything to b, so it just is. So we have -4 is equal to b. And so that is our value for b. We have it, and so now we can write our final equation. Right, our final equation is y is mx plus b. But I need to replace my b with -4. And I'm going to replace my m with 1. So y is 1x minus 4. Okay, the very last step that we're going to take care of, we don't really need 1 times anything, right? 1 times something is just the same thing. So we don't actually need to write the 1. It's redundant. I'm going to just leave it out. I'm going to say, well, then y is x minus 4. That is our final equation of the line between those 2 points. Okay, did you have any questions?